Nope. And I'm live, yeah. Beautiful. Beautiful. Yeah. So that's perfect. That is perfect. But yeah, what a day. Or what a week, really. Great week, to be honest. Yeah, sounds good. I'm live here, I think, so yeah, makes sense. Yeah, I mean, we did talk about it like 3 weeks ago, but then yeah, something came in the way, and we just found some time today. That's beautiful. That is beautiful, and what a week to do it on, also. So that's great. Yeah, they should be fine. Ah. Oh, thank you, Ki, for the confirmation. Beautiful. Beautiful. Sorry, what did you say? I just, for some reason, it lagged out here. I don't know why. Ah, okay. I think most of them have, to be honest. In percentage, yeah. I had a 18%. Yeah. Can Alaska. Yeah, Can Alaska. Still hasn't broken out yet. Still coiling up big time, so it's lagging quite heavily, but it looks good. Oh yeah, nice. That's also. I sold next gen 2 weeks ago, 1 week ago, and then I added into yeah, but I added into other uranium companies. But at that point in time, it just looked exhausting to me, and then obviously the week after, it just completely reversed and then just blasted through everything. So yeah, but again, it is. Yeah. Yeah, true. Cassette and prom, yeah. Yeah, true. Yeah, it dribbles down. Yeah, yeah, for sure. I'll just get. Just need to fix my internet 1 second here. I will get be there. So 1 second. Yeah, I think so, but I think maybe they can't hear you for some reason. I don't know why. Maybe if I do like no. I just turned up the volume here a bit. Maybe that makes sense. Just let me know when you can hear. When you can hear him. Yeah.
Hey guys, can you hear Uselink? Give me a 1 in the chat if you can hear Uselink.
Otherwise, you have to. If I can't fix it here, you have to go to the other channel to get both in, I guess. Now you can.
So they said they can hear you.
It works now here as well on my side. Is it too loud? Let me know. Let me know. Otherwise, I'll just leave it there.
Yeah, so they can hear us both.
Yeah. We can. I think we're good to go. Everything is set up beautifully. So let's do it.
We're gonna let Chef Uselink cook. He's gonna cook us some yellow cake today.
Yeah.
So,
That seems simple. Simple enough.
yeah, man. So take it away. Where do you want to start?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I don't know really.
Let's go and start with spot. Let's look at the spot price.
Let's do it. Let's do it. Should we share the screen or do you?
Yeah.
Maybe.
Share your screen.
I will. How high did we go to? 104? 102?
We went to 104.
Okay.
Just FYI, guys, UX1 still hasn't updated their spot price.
Mm.
So they're stuck at 97.5 or something along that line.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so is that what it's still at?
Yeah, there it is. Okay, I think.
Yep.
Yeah, it is right now. It is. It has updated now
Okay,
actually.
awesome.
It,
Fantastic.
it just updated here, so
Nice.
that
Look
is
at that.
beautiful. Beautiful.
Look at that. Look at that meteoric rise up.
Mediocre. Yeah, it has been a one-way street ever since August, more or less. So that's beautiful.
Yeah,
And,
I know
yeah.
you can't. I know you can't see it on this chart, but if you look at like a 50-year chart of uranium, the rise that we're seeing today closely mirrors the rise that we saw in the 1970s and in 2007. So do you have that chart available? I know we were looking at it just a second ago, so we can kind of
No.
like show the parallels.
Yeah. Let me see here if I can find it.
Yeah, there it is. Yeah, because we were just looking at it before we went live.
Yeah, exactly. I will see if I can find it
Yep.
again. It took some time to find it, really.
Didn't you post it on Twitter?
Yeah, I think I reposted it from. Yeah, here it is. Okay.
Yeah, there it is.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean that's inflation adjusted, but I mean you get the picture.
Yeah.
Look at that. Boom. 1976, I want to say, 78.
Yeah, give or
Look at
take.
that.
Give or take.
Vertical.
180.
Yeah.
180. So.
Yeah, I mean, uranium, like vertical, like what was it? Was that rapper name? Little Uzi Vert? This is more like a Little Uranium Vert.
I have no idea. I have no idea. No idea, to be honest. So. But yeah, definitely we're getting into this 2007 gap down where we in 1 week gap down from 130 to 100. You can see it right here if I zoom in. Oh, excuse me. There it is. That major gap down here. 130 to 100, and we're actually getting into that gap here.
Yep.
Usually when you hit, the first border of the gap, you get a bit of resistance. But for now, it's just going straight through.
Yeah, I mean, look at zoom in on the candlesticks really quick. We can see like there's no slowdown on the candlesticks. Like
No.
the candlesticks are getting, they're not shrinking. They're either staying the same or they're getting bigger and bigger.
Yeah, I actually had the
recent week. Yeah. So
Oh, yeah.
can you zoom in?
Yeah, this one. Yeah,
Yeah, on the right side.
there
Yeah,
it
look at
is.
those candlesticks.
Yeah.
This week's candlestick, look how big it is compared to all the other previous weeks. I think this is the biggest green candlestick we've had in what, 2 years? Yeah.
Yeah, 2 years. Yeah, so yeah, and we had a tiny resistance, at the Fukushima high right there.
Yeah.
Tiny. I thought it would be bigger, but it was just like $5 or so, and then we just blasted higher from there. So
Yeah.
But again-
look at RSI though. Look how far off the RSI it is.
yeah, that's
Does that worry you?
not when. I mean, yes and no. I mean, when you have the monthly, weekly, and also the daily, full on bullish on the RSI, that's typically where you get the big moves. So, but definitely, I mean, nothing goes in a straight line, as I always say. So at some point in time, we need to rest. Hopefully, we'll just do some sort of some bullish consolidation, or we get some bigger reversals. But definitely, just like we looked at before on the previous cycles, it just went vertical for a long time before it came back down. But I think it's different this time around because given that actually now we have a supply and demand, it's not so much of a, back in 2007, the Cameco mine flooded and everyone was scared that they couldn't get any. So at that point, I think it was a bit more panicky than it is now. So I think the grind we will exceed those highs, but I think it will be a bit more of a bit smoother run, you can say, not so spiky. And that's also good. That's actually better than having that huge spike and then just collapsing on us again.
Yeah.
So-
Yeah. I mean, and also that kind of makes sense because you look at the supply and demand deficit heading out into 2030, 2035, etc. It's only getting wild. One thing that's different this time around versus, let's say, the last bull market was that last bull market, there was no supply demand deficit. It was just precipitated by Cigar Lake flooding.
Yeah.
And so if the gap is going to continue getting wider and wider and supply and demand is a heavy component rise in uranium, it would kind of make sense that, this thing continues to kind of grind up higher and higher over time.
Yeah, exactly. And I think, isn't it estimated that is it the 2027, 28 that we will actually maybe get some of the next supply out of the ground, I think? additional supply. I can't remember exactly, but it is at least a few years out before we get any, major extra uranium up from the ground. So that's beautiful.
Yeah. Do you want to look at uranium? Let's look at it compared to a variety of what ratios do you want to look at it
I
compared
think
to?
I have a lot of stuff here. So maybe if we can take the URNM. It's not there, excuse me, here it is. Let's do the URNM to the miners against different stuff here. We could actually do the URNM against the spot price.
Yeah. Let's also look at the URNM by itself.
Yeah, sure. Let's start with that. That might be even better, I guess. Mm-hmm. So this was the weekly candle, beautiful weekly candle here, exceeding the 2021 highs. And actually, in my view, when this wave 3 started was actually, all the way over here in August, like half a year ago, give or take. So that's when it started, and now we're again, in my view,
biggest green candlestick in 2 years.
Yeah, that's beautiful. I don't think you can find one. You have to get over here, right?
Yeah. Before
you find anything remotely close. So here maybe. So, and the volume also you have to admire, really. You can see here the volume is just increasing. Ever since we broke out from that long-term consolidation, volume has just been kicking in. That's beautiful.
Yep. So it seems like uranium sells on low volume and it goes long on high volume. It goes low on. There's some instances where you got some high red volume days, but it's really typically when you have a high volume day, it's usually followed with a lot of buying pressure.
Yeah.
Again, there's exceptions to the rule, but it's really like this downward consolidation pattern from 2022 to mid 2023. That seems like it was a byproduct of low volume. There's just not much happening.
No, it just kept decreasing, slowly, and then once we broke out, you got the volume back in again. So that's perfect. That's exactly what we want to see, really. So.
Yeah, you've also got your RSI kind of hitting a little bit of a ceiling there, but
but again,
got a lot of momentum too.
Yeah, exactly. I think people use RSI. I don't use it that often. I just
you can't use it too literal. You got to use it in the right context.
Yeah, and you have to add in other factors and so on before you can use RSI. But I have it on as not as an indicator, but just to see where we are in time. But the monthly here is just getting started to getting overbought. That's beautiful. And then the weekly, the daily is just. That just means that you have a full bullish trend on the long term and shorter term time frames. That's basically what it means. So.
Yeah, this is just getting started.
Yeah.
Also, wasn't there? There's news that came out today. Kazatomprom would be cutting. I don't remember the exact headline, but Kazatomprom would be cutting a significant chunk of its supply.
Yeah, it couldn't reach its goal or something. Yeah, exactly. So. Yeah.
Chat. What was the exact headline from Kazatomprom? I think that was also a big tinderbox. This uranium explosion was a tinderbox because of that news. We'll let the chat.
Yeah, I saw that. I didn't read the article. I just read the headline. So yeah.
Yeah. So okay. So we've broken out. We've broken out of the 2021 highs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right. So natural question is, Usling, projections, like how high do we go from here?
Yeah, I've always been having that wave 3 target. The absolute maximum greed that you can maybe get from this target is actually the measured move from. It's a simple setup really, but you can have. Oh, excuse me. If you add that in here, you have roughly that measured move right there. So it's a bit lower, but anyways, there it is. So that is the max greed in my view. So roughly 200. And to me, this is some. Maybe we should go to the URA because you have a lot more stuff going on there.
Yeah.
Going back a bit further. So in my view, depending on how fast. Go ahead.
So really quick, on a silver platter says Kazatomprom expects to expects its 2024 production to be adjusted due to the challenges related to the availability of sulfuric acid.
Okay.
So they're adjusting their production cuts essentially.
I see.
2024.
Okay. And that's a big producer, so well.
Yep. Biggest producer in the world.
Yeah, true. But I mean, this move, I think this is only goes back to the Fukushima high, and then you have the gap down when everything went really bad, in Japan. So if this was, before the peak in 2007, we would have had it a lot higher up here. But definitely, in my view, the first take from this is you have the wave 1, wave 2 consolidation, and now we're entering wave 3, and then you will have some sort of final wave 5 here before we possibly could go into some sort of sideways stuff here, and then we go higher. But definitely this arc, in my view, or that gap up there from the Fukushima, is getting filled. I'm very confident in that. The route to get there can be discussed, but I think that is that should be very possible.
So one big limitation with this chart is a lot of you notice this, is that it only goes back to 2011. So you get a very truncated view of the potential heights of where these miners could go. 2011, obviously, you see that little tiny peak there, and then it just dips all the way down, creating this parabola-like pattern. Of course, that was Fukushima that precipitated that. But that's one of the challenges with using URA is you don't have that long-term tail. I mean, you do have a long-term tail. It's the longest term miners ETF out there, but to really figure out where the miners were, say 2007, it doesn't have that. No ETF does.
No, but also the downside for URA, I think they have like 30% solar and some stuff into that, so it's only like 70, 80%. So keep that in mind. So.
Yep.
So yeah. But yeah, URA also, I want to show you a very, very important trend line that is broken. And I wouldn't be surprised if we actually close that gap that we just made today. But if we add the trend line here coming across, that in my view is a very, very big and important breakout that we're just making here. This one goes back to 2012. It has a lot of wicks into it. It also added into the 2021 high. Bit of a pullback here, and then we blasted through. On the daily, we have this huge gap here. That's a breakaway gap. They don't get filled as often as a typical gap that you have. But again, if we close the gap, do the big retest of that trend line, that's just textbook stuff anyways, and then hopefully we blast higher. So yeah, as exciting as it gets, you could actually have 2 weeks of just bullish consolidation down towards that trend line, and that would actually be very good. Even though people will get scared here, that would be insanely good. What you don't want to see is like one or two big red candles into that. Then you will get a lot of short-term momentum, and that's not ideal. You want to have a slow grind here into that, and then you break to the upside.
I see.
Same thing as I can show you that on a very small miner, actually. Not a miner, but a very, very small stock.
Yeah, there's no problem. There's no certainties with any of this stuff.
No, for sure.
Anyone could get this right or wrong, but the idea is to kind of make moves based on probabilities.
Yeah, exactly.
So, we could be right 52% of the time. We come out winners.
Exactly.
We come out significant winners.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's the entire idea of TA. And people say, "Oh, TA is astrology for men." There's times where it's wrong. Well, there's times where it's right too, and the times where it's right, slightly more than when it's wrong. And it's then when it's there where you can actually make your gains. The most successful investors of all time, they never got it 100% right. Just getting it 55% right, 60% right is more than enough to, make riches.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, so what is this?
This is just a small uranium stock here. But anyways, it was just to show you what we want to see. If we have that, if we close the gap and you go for the retest, you just want to have a slow moving, and then you blast higher. You don't want to have a huge drop down. I mean, very big, and then but yeah.
One thing right now that makes me think that we're going to have another one of these like 2021 euphoria move upside is that we're already media attention phase. I think I've seen like 3 NBC segments so far this week, including one our esteemed Jim. and it's for whatever reason, uranium is very attractive to retail.
Yeah.
No other commodity has this. Like retail doesn't really give a shit about oil stocks. Retail doesn't care about natural gas stocks. But for whatever reason, these Wall Street bet people, these the retail people tend to kind of gravitate towards uranium.
Yeah, I think the right way to say is that they have seen the moves back in the mid 2000s, and these moves, they of course attract a lot of people. Same thing you see in crypto and so on. You hear about the moves. You've heard some guys who maybe had made a lot of money, and yeah, that's why you get this this craving or whatever you want to call it. Really, that's how I see it. So yeah.
Yeah, so we got Bannerman on the screen now.
Yeah, someone was just mentioning Bannerman. Absolutely fantastic. This is just amazing long term. Again, goes back 15-year long gold. Huge resistance trend line gets taken out this week with volume. And the good thing is we came up and then we rested. Bullish consolidation sideways just to recharge the energy. And now, yeah, it's Bannerman looks fantastic.
Yeah, and for those people who say, what about share dilution, etc. Well, there's when we look at these charts, we're trying to describe human psychology. So the idea is, when you draw a trend line like this, that's hitting a top in 2007 and so forth, there are buyers and sellers at that 2007 mark. So there are people there who have muscle memory of that price point, and they're going to behave based on that muscle memory. And crazy as it sounds, there also might be people that have been holding for that long as well. So it's not, I get the criticism that, share dilution kind of minimizes some of this stuff, but at the same time, these numbers do hold some sort of presence in the minds of of traders. So there is significance there.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
Chat, what stock? Drop some mining stocks. Uselink and I can analyze them for you guys.
Yeah, we can do that easily. We just
We'll let them fill up the screen. Yeah, we'll let them fill up the screen. We can look at more ratios in the meantime.
Yeah, true. That's true. One guy in the chat here, people to argue for share price dilution don't take into account the fact that project advancement and de-risking that takes place as well. So,
yep,
that makes sense.
100%. I got someone here who wants to look at SMR.
Oh, yeah, okay.
This is from Uranium Fever 88.
Yeah, I had some lines on here, but you can see it is just getting killed, really. So yeah, just to keep it very, very short, I think there are better plays at the moment. But definitely, when you have a move like this on a log scale, that's usually, the blow off top, in this case to the downside. So this should be the bottom, but again, these moves are very difficult to predict when you have this collapsing price, both to the downside and to the upside. So yeah, very difficult stock to give any good comments on. I had this channel going on for a long time, high hopes, but yeah, it just collapsed down really. So, and I think this was actually some news with regarding to they lost a contract. They had 2 big contracts or something, and one of them they lost it, or it was fake or whatever. I don't know, but I think that was the kicker to stop the collapse. So.
Gotcha. You want to take one from you?
I haven't had any yet on. Maybe I have a bit of a latency, in the chat. I don't know. So.
All right. Let's go ahead and look at some. Let's go back to the mining URNM, and I believe you had a few ratios you wanted to look at.
Yeah, exactly. Analyze. I mean, one of the most important in my view is the ratio against spot price, and we finally came down to a third touch. Usually, you have those 3 ways, and finally, we actually connected with that lower golden trend line there, and we actually had a huge run up here. So that's exactly what we wanted to see. So we are getting a bounce. It's still very early, and the momentum is actually still down. But what we're seeing now is a good start. It is a good start. It's still, if you add some moving averages and so on, they are still pointing down here slightly. So So yeah, it's still early,
Yeah.
but definitely we're getting a big bounce here. So
And it's a hallmark of a bull cycle, of a uranium bull cycle, or any commodity bull cycle, when the miners begin out the actual metal,
yeah, exactly.
right? And so that's because money feels confident enough to flow into more speculative names into the sector. And why do they feel more? Why do they feel confident? Because they think that the spot price is going to rise.
Yeah, true.
So,
true.
if we are indeed breaking out to newer highs, we should begin to see the miners begin to outperform the metal. Otherwise, it'd be very strange. I don't think there's any precedence where you had a bull market where the metal outperformed the miners.
No, it's the same as the gold to silver ratio. I mean, that's also if you have that collapsing, that cannot be where the metals goes down. That's just not how it works. Because if the metals goes down, that usually silver drops down heavily. So that means the ratio should go up. So that doesn't make any sense. So, but yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. What else you got there? You got the URNM divided by. Okay.
So this is divided by the Nasdaq. Yeah, the Nasdaq actually. Okay, Nasdaq, yeah. So the tech, and again, a lot of people, retail and so on. Also the investing guys, the big guys, are very bullish on tech. However, if we look at from the lows from 2020, actually, if I can find the correct measuring tool, so roughly here you can actually see that actually URNM has actually outperformed that heavily, and also right now we're actually trying to make a huge breakout of that high of this resistance here, the all-time highs in the ratio, meaning URNM is set to outperform tech, which is a big thing actually. Same thing against the SPY here really. Also, you can see it right there, breaking out heavily against the SPY. After we had a bit of we tagged the high there, and then we had bullish consolidation below, which is beautiful, and now we're blasting out to the upside here.
You know what this made me think of?
Nope.
It's so in a uranium bull market, you'd expect the more speculative name, like we alluded to, you'd expect things like URA, URNM, URNJ to begin outperforming spot. Now, let's expand that thought out to the overall market. In an overall bull market for the SPX, shouldn't you also have like your more speculative names like in uranium? Uraniums are speculative. It is a speculative sector.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
So if uranium is beginning to outperform the SPX, I wonder if that implies that we're in an overall bull market by that same token.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's a good train of thought there, really. It is. Again, I didn't also going back to the Nasdaq again. It has also performed very well in 2023, a lot better than I expected, to be honest. So definitely, the tech has done insanely well. I know it has been carried by the big seven and so on, but I think 90% of the people going into 2023 would expect a huge down year for tech, but that was quite the opposite.
Yeah, because here's the thing. I was you can actually check this on my channel. If you go through some of my earlier shorts from last year, like early 2023, I made a few videos talking about how everyone was bearish on the market. Everyone said that there was a recession coming in 2023, and as trying to be contrarian, I posed a question.
Yeah.
If everyone's bearish on 2023, does that mean that 2023 is bullish? In that case,
yeah,
like you know what I mean. Everyone was on one side of the boat all of 2023 that we were going to have a bear market. We're going to have a crash. There's going to be a super bad recession, and it just never happened. We closed out 2023 almost making all-time highs in the overall broad market.
Yeah. Just one final kicker before we go into. Okay, this is against the same thing against the SPY here, but just one bearish side to the setup here. Again, if we are to close the gap, let's say, and whatever retest we will get at that point in time, if it doesn't hold, and usually when you have a retest that doesn't hold, you can actually collapse right through all the previous all-time high.
Right.
So again, we have to watch what happens if we want to close the gap or not, and how we get down to that gap if we are. So
Yeah.
just like we saw here on, I know it's uranium, but I want to just show the example. Again, here going back to the bull market for Bitcoin again, we just made the all-time highs, and then as you can see here, we just couldn't hold it, and as soon as you start to collapse down from those, from that double top, basically faking people out, that's when you collapse. I'm not expecting that big of collapse, obviously, if that happens in URNM, but again, just to show you that there's always two sides of the coin, and but again, if the spot price holds these, 100 plus, I mean, I wouldn't give it that high of a chance, really. So.
Yeah. I mean, we just saw a $4 gap. Just DeFi market.
Yeah, we did.
So $104 in a single day. Yeah. Yesterday, I think it was the same thing. One moment it was $96, and all of a sudden we got that tweet from Amir.
100, yeah, boom.
He said it was $100.
Yeah.
So, and just snap of a finger like that.
Yeah.
So I mean, these are not the characteristics to me of a fake out.
No.
I mean, we could be wrong for sure. Nothing here is financial advice, but if I had to bet $1, which I have more than $1 on this stuff, but if I had to choose, I would say this is the real deal.
Yeah. Again, just keep in mind we can close that gap really.
Yeah. Again,
that would be textbook stuff. Closing gap, retesting the breakout high from 2021, and then we go higher. Again, just have it as if it starts to happen, that is probably what is going to happen. And then you have to see what happens. How does it react, when we get down to that mega support? Hopefully it is some textbook stuff. Again, everyone is excited right now. We are, Twitter is, and so on. Just like gold, when gold did that big breakout, what was it, 4 weeks ago? I can't remember exactly, but in December they had that huge breakout, and then it just not collapsed, but it just gave it all back and then more. I mean, there is a possibility we will see the same thing here, to be honest. Just to getting all the easy money or the scared money, just to, oops, that's boring, and then boom, that's when we go. So
yeah,
again, just to look at both sides of the coin, really, that's very important to do. So
let's see what else we got here. Do we want to look at?
I want to look at gold really, because I've been following this ratio for a while. Yeah, and actually, when we started to break out, I've been saying for a long time that usually when you break a very important trend line, in this case a neckline,
this is uranium priced in gold.
Yeah, exactly, priced in gold. Yeah, and usually if you have a massive breakout like this, that is a huge deal. You usually get the confirmation retest and then you go higher. But for now, it just doesn't give a damn really. So it's just amazing how strong it is in relation. But you are starting to see in gaps now, so I think that we're getting closer to the top here, and then gold will start to outperform.
How much of a percent gain if we retrace back to the highs of this chart?
From here, or what? Or from
where we're at currently to the top? How much percent?
Okay. Yeah.
4x? What is it? Yeah.
3. So 300%. Yeah. So.
Yeah. So yeah, 4x.
Yeah. Exactly. So that is pretty. That's not too bad.
All uranium, assuming that gold stays constant.
Yeah, and it won't. I mean, I think gold will have a fantastic 2024. Excuse me. I thought we would have had that in 2023, but again, I'm even more convinced that we will see that in 2024. Yeah.
Yeah, and if gold rises, then and if this chart holds up, and we do retrace back to those old highs, it's gonna go even $100. I mean, everyone losing their minds, but just trying to understand this chart fully.
Yeah, but I think if I were to give a guess, again, that's very difficult to do 1 year out. But my guess is that at some point uranium spot price will actually pause for a few months, even a half a year, maybe in that 100 to 130, that gap. And that's actually when I think gold will start to do its move towards, the 2,400, 500, whatever it is. So that is actually when you start to see this ratio. Again, I've been calling for it a lot, and it hasn't happened yet. So I might be wrong, but definitely I think that could be when the uranium spot price, starts to have that pause, and then gold will do its rise. Then gold will outperform, and we will have that retest. That is how I see 2024 actually go. So something like this, right? Just a very quick draw, and then we will go higher again. Something like that.
So just that rate. I mean, that ratio can go down, and so you're saying the numerator goes down while the denominator stays constant, and then the denominator starts to run.
Yeah, what I mean is that
being gold.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, gold starts to run, and then spot price stays still, and then we get the retest, and then when we have that pause for like 4 months, 6 months, whatever, how long time it will take, just to recharge, because these massive moves up here, almost vertical, they can't go on forever. So hopefully it will just be some sort of pause, and then we stay a step higher, and then that's when uranium again will outperform the gold here. That is what I'm suggesting. So, or thinking it could happen again.
Gotcha. Hey, pull up uranium versus M2 money supply.
Okay. The spot price, yeah?
Yeah.
MS, what is it?
M2SL.
M2SL, yeah, exactly. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Yeah, because money supply is denoted in trillions of dollars, so the denominator is going to be super big. It makes this ratio 0.
Yeah, something, very small.
But if you right-click, on the axis there, and go to index to 100. Index to 100.
Oh, nice. Yeah, okay.
There you go.
Yeah, wow.
So it's indexed to, what is it, 30, I want to say? And the peak there is at 110, something like that.
Yeah.
So that's a 3.5, just about a 3.5x or 4.5x move.
Yeah, true. So we're just getting started, really, in my view as well. And same thing if you do it against inflation, we're just a lot lower than people actually think in this.
Yeah, I mean, ratios are key. Ratios are key, guys.
Insanely,
because price is, a lot of people know the price of everything, but the value of nothing.
Yeah, true.
Pricing things in dollars, dollars are Johnny-come-latelys. We print dollars every single day. There's way more dollars than there are today than there were back then. So you gotta ask yourself, value compared to what? You've always got to add in that compared to what qualifier. So you've got to look at things like uranium compared to the broad money supply. You've got to look at it compared to gold. You might want to also look at it compared to the overall market, the S&P, the NASDAQ, etc. So you got to get a full understanding, a full colored view of things. So I just want to shout out this one person in the chat. His name is Guato. He says, the fact that we only have 51 people in this chat, my chat at least, I don't know about your chat, Yusling, he says, that's an indicator that we're not near the top.
Yeah, that's true.
Our channels are still small.
Yeah, if we had 1,000.
Subscribe to the channel, guys. Subscribe to our channel. Subscribe to Uselink, at Uselink on Twitter, at Uselink on YouTube as well. Subscribe to me. If you haven't already, like the videos, etc. Let's get these channels going. We're about to hit a big bull market. Let's get this thing on the road. But yeah, so what is this, baseload energy?
Yeah, baseload. I just thought we could go on to some miners again. If you have some in your chat, just sending a tick or whatever, let me know. But again,
yeah, we can look at baseload for now. I think someone may have recommended baseload for me. No, I don't have any baseload recommendation. Do you have a baseload recommendation on your end?
No, I don't, but I just find the chart very, very nice. So
okay, yeah, let's look at it.
So yeah, baseload also, this is a very small, 50 million. So that's also a very small company. Again, more speculative. No, it's an explorer, right? I guess explorer. Yeah, I think it's the correct term. Also breaking out heavily here. It broke that golden triangle there, and then it went sideways, and now we're just blasting through. Huge volume kicking in. You can add a Bollinger Band. We're about to pierce the weekly Bollinger Bands. I mean, that's just fantastic to see, really. Again, the key here, we had that apex of the overall squeeze there. And then you have this micro formation in here. And usually, when you have these so close to the apex, if it breaks down, that's also when you break the big formation. And we broke up, and then we went up from there. So baseload also looks really good everything really looks good, to be honest, except a few.
Yeah, so I have so David Carter wants to look at mega uranium.
Oh, and I can completely understand why he will. or he would like to see that. So, I mean, mega uranium was. Let's remove some of the stuff here just to get a clear
And
picture.
FYI, guys, there's a lot of names on this chat. If you leave a super chat, I'll definitely read it out. But I'm not going to be able to read all these names out here. I'm gonna pick a few random ones, and yeah, we'll try and get to as many as we can, though.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah. So just to some very long-term stuff here again. Huge bear market, and then you get the basing, stage 1 basing, and usually at some point in time, hopefully you go into stage 2 incline, and that is exactly what, in my view, what is happening as we speak. So all this basing stuff is actually over, and you can see it there, that's the ceiling, roughly 0.42, and we had the low here is also quite well defined at roughly 0.05. But what is important for me is that you hit it again here, and then you had that bullish consolidation, and now you're breaking out, tiny retest, and then we're good to go. And mega uranium is also, it's 160 million, so also somewhat small. But if you were to do, again, not financial advice or anything, but if you were to do some sort of projected move on this one, you actually take the height of that range, and you can actually get some pretty high numbers. Again, this was not perfectly made, but you get the drift, roughly.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
8x, 8-bagger.
Yeah, exactly. Again, I think it will be difficult to hold a full position all the way up there, but anyways, I mean, that is the max greed target that you can have. Again, play it as you may, but it looks really good, and as you can see here on the weekly, breaking out, bit of a deep retest, but now we're back on, so we have confirmed that level as support now, and now we're going higher.
Gotcha. I have a GVX from Nick Hornsey. Can you pull that up?
Yeah, GVX. I think I want the Canadian one. Am I blind here or what? Yeah, well, there it is. Okay. So yeah, actually, GoVix is also lagging a bit here. Again, it was involved with all that Niger debacle that they were like half a year ago, give or take, together with GLO or and Global Atomic. And yeah, I was very bullish. I want to also something that I'm looking for often. If this was actually the start in 2020 of the big bull run up here, and often if you for some reason come all the way down again to that level, that's usually also a place where all the bears, all the people has actually left there, so you get a brand reset. Obviously we dipped a bit further below, but we're now again here, you can see here testing some internal golden stuff there, golden trend lines, and again it hasn't broken out yet, but we're getting closer to leave that, what is it, that's 1.5 year long channel down here for GoVX. So yeah, it's definitely lagging quite a lot.
And it's all contingent upon the geopolitical situation there in Niger. So
yeah, exactly. You have a lot of you had a lot of downward momentum when we started to break out overall for uranium. In August in 2023, you still had that. GLO and GoVX had that issue with the country Niger, and that gives a lot of short-term momentum to the downside. Yeah. And it needed to undo all that before it could join, the rest of the gang, really. But I want to show you Global Atomic, really, because I didn't expect to have such a kind of V-shaped recovery. I think it should drag out more, but again, that is just full on. I mean, it has actually taken all the scare. You can see the scare started at roughly 3, and now we're breaking above 3 again here. So insanely bullish.
Yeah. You know what that tells me? You know what that tells me? That tells me that the market's pricing in that things are going to be okay.
Yeah, exactly. Completely.
Yeah. Because like here's the argument that a lot of people make against TA is another thing is that TA is blind to I don't know, geopolitical events. It's blind to fundamentals. You're not looking at the fundamentals of the company, etc. But by definition, TA already prices all of that stuff in to begin with.
Yeah.
So whether or not a company has bad fundamentals, you should see that reflected in it lagging behind other stocks and its assets.
Yeah, basically.
Atomic.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, basically what you're getting
it's
is the opinion of everyone who's involved with Global Atomic, their opinion, their feelings you can actually see in the chart, and you have to try
exactly.
to analyze that and see if you can make the correct conclusion. So I have Dennison mines. Want to look at Dennison? I guess that's a good.
Yeah, let's look at Dennison.
Dennison mines. I'll go to the monthly. This is very, very long-term stuff here. Again, I have cleaned it up quite a bit here, but you actually have, you can see this was the 2020 break, and now again, long-term golden trend line, 2021 high, and we are breaking out here. So we tagged it, bullish consolidation, and we went higher. But I will say this though, I was a bit worried, when if we didn't knew all this stuff here, that this could be some sort of topping pattern right there. I had my worries, to be honest. So, but clearly that was not the case.
Yeah, I mean, you've got a big bullish engulfing there for the week.
Yeah, exactly. This is weekly.
Multi bullish engulfing.
Yeah, this is weekly. This is beautiful weekly.
Yeah. So if you zoom in, to that most recent candlestick.
I can go to the weekly. Yeah, there it is. So.
Yeah, look at that. Where is it? Oh, there it is. Yeah. It's engulfing what, 4, 5 candlesticks before it?
Yeah, roughly 2 months worth of candlesticks. So
it doesn't get more bullish than that, does it?
No, it's insanely nice. We are at the highs you can see there from 2021. We're actually resting there for the week, right there. So we haven't taken that high out yet, but definitely the momentum is strong. So, but still, that is the last hurdle before we can go to 4.3 in my view. So, right there. So.
Yeah. So I think we've looked at pretty much everything. Anything else you want to look at before we wrap this thing up?
No, I mean I could go through most of the tickers, and right now 90% of them looks really, really good. So if you want to get the overall idea where we are, you should just go to the URNM or the URA just to get the overall market sentiment. And again, URA is breaking that long-term, very long-term resistance as we speak, as today really. So it looks really good. Again, it's all probabilities, but again, I like what I see, to be honest. That's really good. So,
if you guys ever taken like a probability class, there's a thing called expected value, and expected value pretty much tells you what if you were to run trials over and over again, if you were to buy or sell, if you were to do something along that line, what would be your expected value? Meaning, if you were to keep up with making decisions based on TA, for example, you would most likely come out, if you're doing it correctly, that is, you'd most likely come out ahead more times than you'd come out the wrong side. And that's what it's betting on, is that over time, the more trials you run, the more you converge. A lot of people might get right trade correct for all the wrong reasons.
Yes.
And then they try to replicate that same methodology another time and another time and another time. And then all of a sudden, the huge gains that they may have made the first time around quickly dissipate. Because the expected value of doing something like that over and over and over again is negative, or it's some low number.
Yeah, that's also why poker and trading actually goes hand in hand, because you're basically doing your strategy over and over again. And if you have a winning strategy in the long run, you should come out on the right side of that coin. So,
yep.
So yeah, so
that uranium guy says thanks for the live stream. Hey, no problem, anytime, man. Glad to do this.
Can I just show you? 4 days ago, I wrote to you that this day or the day after could actually be where we blasted through.
Yeah.
And that was a. Yeah, go ahead.
For those who don't know, me and Uselink were DMing a few days ago, and he said, we're in different time zones, and I got his message at like 7 a.m., 8 a.m. or something. I was groggy. I read it. I was like, "Oh, we're gonna rip through higher today, or we're gonna break out from uranium. We're gonna break out today. Today's gonna be the day."
Yeah.
Okay. And lo and behold, it's like he pinpointed the exact time when we break out, with the miners, with the mining stocks. So go ahead and explain how you were able to figure that out.
It was basically, I was just sitting, as I do every night more or less, just looking at charts, and I went through all the charts, all the ratios, and when I went to bed, I'm like, this is it. I really think that this could be where we go higher. And looking at the URNM, we have this yellow uptrend there, and you can see here we touched it here, and I said, I went to the 1 hourly, and I'm like, this looks like it wants to curl and then just blast higher again, because again we have that bullish sideways consolidation into that such a big support, and also combined with URNM against the spot price and all that. I mean, I just had that gut feeling that this could really be the day where we blast higher, and yeah, sometimes TA works, and this was one of them. So beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, all I got. Want to show to the audience, Uselink?
Excuse me?
Anything else you want to show to the audience?
No, I mean, I did the weekly close update. People can check it out. I'm going through ratios more, and yeah, I think Monday I will do my standard US, Canada walkthrough of all the miners, so check that out. Same thing with the Australian ones. I do Tuesday, I think. So there will probably be some big updates on those. But yeah, people know where they can find me, hopefully, if they are interested. If not, it is what it is. So.
Yeah, fantastic. And for those of you guys watching me on Uselink stream, my name is Capital Cosm, at Capital Cosm on YouTube and on X. I try to do live streams as much as I can. I do interviews with expert guests like Uselink here. Yeah, it was a pleasure doing this stream.
Yeah, I agree. I have nothing further to add other than I think we can have a great weekend, and hopefully we'll get some more follow through.
Yeah. Fantastic.
Week,
well, you guys have a great weekend. Be sure to subscribe to our channels if you haven't already. Like the videos. Comment down below. Let me know if you disagree or agree. And yeah, to your success. Bye, y'all.
Bye, guys.